go.
Ready as you'll ever be.
I
She says before I hit the button.
Yes. Well, I feel like I kind of knew what I wanted to make today.
Okay.
So I like went in search of very specifically a soba noodle stir fry.
That's what I was doing.
What?
That's what I had for lunch. Soba noodles.
Oh, okay. So
But with
it's like
pesto.
we're having it together.
Different. It was pesto.
With pesto, you said?
Yeah, that's what I had. Kale pesto.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I was like, well, I have like a bunch of vegetables I need to use up. So I found this recipe. It's not overwhelmed by the recipe, but I feel like it's at least giving me you doing all right with your hair there, friend?
I don't know.
I never know. I feel like since we've been in this lockdown, this is just.
I actually wish I had put my hair on one of those growth charts, like for kids, to measure it. You know what I mean? So you can like hold it up and see how tall your kid grows. Like I wish I had just done it to see how long my hair would grow.
I know. My hair was short when this started.
Mine was cool. Yeah. Anyway, so you're cleaning out your fridge. I mean, this is perfect. This is totally on
an ends situation here. So it's going to differ from the one that's basically online. I'm kind of winging this, really.
Okay, I'm typing this in. Comments.
I am winging it, indeed.
Winging it. I love it. I mean, that's so on brand. That's the end.
So I have my water getting ready to boil. I'm sorry, water takes a long time to boil. I did get it started before we were talking.
Smart. To cover it?
So in this, I have shiitake mushrooms.
Ooh, my favorite. They're so good.
I have broccoli because my other favorite. Oh, there we go.
Nice. Broccoli, easy go-to. My kids love broccoli. Like it's a winner.
Yeah. And
so
then I have
a question. Ooh, I like tofu. Do you like the stems or the florets of broccoli better?
Now, you and I have had this conversation. So I know where you.
I don't know your answer though.
I like the florets.
The florets, yeah. See, I like the stems.
I know.
And Ramona will only eat the florets. She won't even touch the stems.
I'm with Ramona. As a kid, it holds all the butter and goodness in the florets.
The texture of it was all fluffy and weird, and sometimes it can be really grainy. And even like if I make broccoli soup, I almost don't even want to add the florets.
Those are the best part in broccoli soup. You're out of your mind.
No, I always put them off and then cook it with the stems. I will add it a little bit later.
Yeah.
But
that our friendship is managed. What?
That makes us a great team.
Yeah. I mean, if they gave us a head of broccoli, we could devour that thing.
Right?
There would be nothing left.
Nothing left. Not a thing.
Now, I'm actually going to go to you a little bit along the way because I have some I live in the San Gabriel Valley, so I have lots of, Asian staples in my kitchen. I have fish sauce. I have sesame oil. I have my sesame seeds that I need. I have my white pepper because I like the little white pepper in it.
Okay.
And of course, soy sauce. And then I only have apple cider vinegar instead of rice wine vinegar, but they said it's the closest to it. I only have like the seasoned rice wine vinegar, which is too sweet.
Okay. Yep.
I do think I'm going to add some honey to this situation to give it some sweetness.
Okay.
And that's my plan.
What's the San Gabriel Valley? I feel like I've been to your house. I know where it is. I've never heard that phrase before.
Well, okay. So honestly, they do refer to it as the SGV. And it is,
I'm like,
we have some of the best, specifically Chinese restaurants outside of China. David Chang's favorite Chinese restaurant is in SGV. Why do we have this?
No. This is not the Valley.
No. The Valley is on the other side of the mountains out there, like the Hollywood Hills on the other side is the Valley.
What is the Valley?
So the Valley would be like Northridge and
what's its name? Does it
Studio City and all those? What do you
mean?
If
I would say, for example, I'm going to the Val party.
Where to the Val party in the Val.
Where would I be going?
They were probably going. Well, I don't remember specifically specifically what
Sun
streets they
Valley?
were on.
No,
They were
I-
probably Studio City, I bet, which is literally just the other side of the mountains on Hollywood. Like when you take the Hollywood Hills, you know, you hear about the party in the hills. And
Yeah.
so there's these windy streets. And when you take it out, on one side's the valley, on the other side is like Hollywood, Beverly Hills, all that stuff.
Okay. And you're in a different valley.
I'm in a different valley. I
Got
am east of all that. I am in the SGV.
Got it. That's funny. I mean, you've lived there for a very long time. I've been there many times and I've never heard that term.
Yeah. I think it's just kind of gaining in popularity with like hipsters and stuff in probably the last like 5 years where people go to like strip mall Chinese restaurants. Now we're not talking where it's like they're feeding you chow mein out of a trough type thing, strip mall. We're just talking about like really homemade Chinese food. And it runs from all over.
Strip mall sounds great. I mean, it sounds like there's parking available.
Parking available.
Also going anywhere sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I know. I have to say,
I am down for strip mall.
Life felt really easy when I moved to suburbia because there was parking everywhere. The mall doesn't charge for parking. I used to have to spend half my paycheck just to park to go to the goddamn mall in San Francisco. Well,
you lived in it's very different where I live in San Francisco now too.
Yeah. Well, you live in like this.
If my car is not parked immediately in front of my house, like everybody's upset. My kids are like, "Why is your car parked 5 feet?"
You remember looking for parking in the Haight?
Yeah, no, I almost killed people.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I lived not that far from you, almost killing people.
I used to have this like vision of driving home and I'd circle the block. Sometimes I would circle like multiple blocks for like 30 or 40 minutes. There was nowhere to park, not even temporarily somewhere to like take a meter and then go try again later. There was nowhere to pull over. And I used to just have this like really intense vision of just driving my car directly into a fire hydrant just so the water would explode. Yeah. And I would get out of my car, take my hair down, shake it out, and just walk away and do the thing just to like cause a scene so that people could
understand your fury.
They needed to understand how mad I was. Yeah. That was the reason I would take out the fire hydrant. Like I needed some like visible anger to show.
Anybody who's ever lived there can relate to that. They understand.
It was awful. And I was just telling someone this the other day. There was parking under my apartment building and we were on the waiting list to get a spot for 9 years and never
parking under your building?
Yeah.
On Haight? I don't even remember that. Oh yeah.
Floors. And but the problem was there were probably 11 or 12 parking spots under there and only 8 units in the building. The problem was they had rented out the spot. In easier times, they had like rented out the spots to other people in the neighborhood. So people would park in my building who did not live in my building. And they just held on to the spot for so many years that even though we lived in that apartment for 1 month shy of 10 years, and we were on the list from the moment we signed up, we moved in and there was never an opening.
That is crazy. In 10 years, there was never a parking opening?
Nope.
Yes. Oh, I remember driving in circles. I remember like being near the verge of tears.
I feel like you went home a couple times. You were like, I was going to come over, but now I'm just going to go home.
Yeah. Oh, in the Haight? Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Nothing. You know why the Haight was especially maddening? All the people you had to dodge on the streets while looking for parking infuriated me. The faux hippies that sit there and they probably live up the hill in one of those rich ass houses and they're just down there as a teenager trying to get your goddamn money. They're not true homeless people. They're like, give me a beer, man.
I mean, there were plenty of those too, but
no, they were more in the park.
Yeah.
They bled it.
Chasing you down the street. Anyway.
Well,
it was lovely for a while, but parking was one of the reasons I moved. But it's not that
there, I think.
There's plenty of parking. I can see 5 parking spots outside my window right now. We have a driveway and
no, you're living the life.
We're living the dream, I need to go water my plants after this. I have strawberries growing. I will actually be eating strawberries from my backyard actually I have no idea when, but it's green. I don't know how long it takes to go from green to red.
So when did you plant your strawberries?
So I planted like starter, what do they call those, like little starter things? So the leaves were already maybe 2 inches tall, and they were already 2 inches tall. There were leaves and there were flowers on the leaves. So there were no like strawberry buds or whatever, because that's what the flower like turns into, the strawberry, the little green strawberry.
Okay.
So, and I planted them, maybe 3 weeks ago. And now the flowers have progressed to actually turning into little green strawberry, like identifiable strawberries. And the greenery has just gone crazy. I mean, strawberries are kind of like a ground cover. So they just go really nuts. So they've already grown. They've gone from like these tiny little starter things to like taking up, each one's like this big. And I think I'm going to have at least like 15 strawberries from.
That's really good. I think my mom got like 4.
I think I'm going to have a lot.
One would show up and be ripe. Eloise was right there eating that thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, there's that one strawberry.
They grow wild in the neighborhood. I see like on the little like medians or kind of on the sidewalk where somebody will have a tree, but then there's like a half patch of dirt around the tree. In multiple places throughout the neighborhood, it's covered with just like wild strawberries. And if we go for a walk on the little mountain across from our house, in the underbrush, there's just like these giant patches of wild strawberries. So I assumed if they're growing like that,
they could definitely grow.
They would do well in my backyard. So, we'll see. Anyway, what are you doing now? You showed me tofu.
So I'm going to ask you. I think. Well, first of all, do you want to tell what soba noodles are? Because I don't really know.
Yeah.
I know they're buckwheat noodles, but. This
is really interesting. There's a wide variety available of soba noodles. So if you're following the recipe and it just says soba, you can get a really different product from somebody else.
Mine says organic soba, made in Australia, in a Japanese way.
The
Japanese way.
Read the ingredients. Is it 100% buckwheat or does it have any other flour in it?
Let me see. Ingredients: organic buckwheat flour.
That's it.
Water. Nope. And wheat flour.
And wheat flour. So personally, as somebody who is not gluten averse or wheat averse, I like the ones better when they have some wheat flour added to them. I like working with them better. I think they come out better. The true soba noodles are gluten-free because they're 100% buckwheat. The buckwheat can have a really intense flavor, but also when you boil them, I find that they go very quickly from undercooked and kind of clumping together to overcooked and really mushy, and then the edges kind of blur into each other.
Okay.
So
I was undercooking these because I actually like when my noodles are a little sorry, honey.
Yeah.
When they get a little bit, I like them a little harder. I don't like them mushy.
The wheat flour will be your friend in that. It will be the friend you need for your soba dish.
Right.
It just helps it make I think they just cook better and more evenly. If you have 100% buckwheat gluten-free soba, you just need to really stir the pot a lot. You need to make sure your water is really boiling so that they don't stick together, because they just tend to get really, really clumpy. Whereas with the addition of wheat, it's more like a traditional Italian pasta, and it's somewhere in the middle. So, but I love the flavor of the buckwheat. It also means, depending on what kind and how much buckwheat, like the color and the shape of the noodles can be really different too. So I've seen soba that's really, really dark gray, like almost even like the color of a chalkboard, maybe. Like really dark blackish gray, and then
those don't have flour in them, or they don't.
Those typically are all buckwheat flour and just like a darker grind of it, all the way up to, there's one big brand of soba noodles I get sometimes that's so pale they almost look like regular spaghetti. So there's a huge range. But they're one of the only ones that after I drain them, if I'm going to wait to add any sauce or any other ingredients or whatever, I actually run water over them.
Run water over the soba noodles?
I do if I'm not tossing them with a sauce immediately. So if I have sauce ready, I'll just add the sauce to it. But if I don't, and they're going to wait at all, I run cold water over them so they don't clump.
Okay. All right. Good to know. I've never cooked a soba noodle before in my life. I'm heating up the pan and I'm putting a little bit of oil in there. to cook my broccoli and my shiitake mushrooms.
Nice.
Now, first I have minced up some some garlic. Wow.
Okay.
And I have some ginger, but I don't have like a ginger. I could not find ginger root last time I was at the store. So I have
love that stuff.
Ginger mince situation.
Yeah. The Ginger People is an awesome company.
Yeah. Yeah.
They make like pickled ginger too that I could seriously just like almost eat as dessert.
I love ginger. Like I would put more than you're supposed to put in because I just love ginger.
And if you're gonna get pre-minced ginger like that, theirs is that's a really, really good one. Show the people. Show them that logo again. Maybe the Ginger People will there you go. Yeah, the Ginger People. If you get other brands or like lower quality brands of already minced ginger, it just loses a lot of its oomph. So that brand is really good. I feel like it's super fresh tasting and it's so easy. Not gonna lie, you have a jar of that. Like it's so much easier to.
I know.
It's so soft that when you add it as well, it's just already minced and it's very tempting.
A little bit, so. I'm gonna do back. So I am gonna do this. I put the ginger and the garlic together, and I'm putting that in the oil first. I didn't want it to be too hot because I don't want my garlic to burn.
Yeah.
That's always like so stressful for me. I feel like, especially in making Asian cooking where you have to get the pan so hot.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like a window of 30 seconds you can put garlic in before it burns.
You could do it the opposite. So you could cook your mushrooms and your broccoli until they're mostly done and then add the garlic and ginger to it afterwards. So it would still have time, but that way you can more easily cook the veggies on a higher heat and then just add them at the end.
It's good to know next time. Also, on a lot of the things I've been watching, because Instagram and cooking stuff shows up in my feed constantly.
Yeah.
I saw it's a guy, a chef in New York he's Asian and cooks a lot of Chinese food.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that they always, like before truly doing a stir fry, they would take like the broccoli and blanch them.
Blanch it. Yeah.
Yeah. Before you put it in. Yeah. I don't want to do that because I don't have a little spidery thing to fish out. So it would be like forever before I found all the broccolis.
Yeah.
I am next time.
I've never worked in a Chinese restaurant or anything. The closest I've ever come is in culinary school. One of my favorite classes and instructors by far was the Chinese cooking class with the Chinese chef. She was old even in like 2005, and she had written one of the very first English language Chinese cookbooks in the late 60s. And it looks amazing. I actually managed to buy it. It was like already out of print. It was almost like a pamphlet. It was like soft-sided. It kind of reminded me of almost like a church cookbook, but it was really, really thin.
Or just like a guest teacher or a full-time teacher?
She was a full-time teacher.
Oh, she was.
Yeah. She was the Chinese cooking instructor. But that was
like the Chinese cooking unit. Was it a while or
2 weeks? Yeah, it was. So technically, it was Foods of Asia, or they always called it something like that. Foods of Europe, Foods of South America, Foods of the Americas. I think it was Foods of Asia. So it technically covered like Southeast Asia. I think it even covered India, but I have no memory of ever cooking Indian food. But the instructor was like a Chinese chef and famous for her Chinese cooking and bringing the recipes. She was like the first one ever to bring that cookbook to the United States.
Wow.
Or print it in English or something like that.
What was the most delicious thing you made with her?
I can't even remember that specifically, but one thing I remember is that of all the instructors that I had in a year of culinary school, she was the only one who talked about not wasting any food, which is funny to think of now that I talk about that all the time. So in culinary school, there's just so much food and so many students and so much going on all the time.
Yeah.
She would actually come over to your station at the end of the day. And if you had used half of an onion here, but you just threw away the other half of the onion or didn't feel like saving it for later, you would get like docked points. So hers was the only refrigerator where you go in and every team would have their own little bucket and you had to put all your odds and ends in the buckets and use them up later. So if you used broccoli, you had to find a way to use the broccoli stems. She would actually give you points.
Nice.
Tim Fritz likes your bangs. Hey, Tim Fritz.
Thanks. Thanks, Tim Fritz.
We were, you can tell us how long your hair is growing, Tim. We were talking about hair lengths before. Really, we missed the riveting content of that. But what I was saying about this Chinese cooking, though, is what I learned from her is that it seems really simple. I think people really take it for granted, or they don't give it enough credit for being really complex. And there are so many little steps that when you like cook a quick stir fry or something at home, they've done so many steps. There are like ways that they're tenderizing, and there are a process they do for shrimp called oil poaching, where you actually poach it in oil at a really low temperature so it absorbs all the oil. But that's why when you eat it, it tastes so good because it's all like really, really juicy. And
so but the same chef I watched where he did the blanching first with the vegetables and stuff, he just did a thing with shrimp actually, and it had to do with washing them a ton. You let it absorb water weirdly, and then you rinse it and you put salt and then you rinse it, and it's like they do all these steps where it's like you do all this insane rinsing and washing and everything before.
I love that. And there's just so much craft and stuff to it, but definitely there's so many interesting articles out there. It's something I'm always reading about. There was a whole big thing about just like racism in Chinese cooking and the, non-Chinese American opinions about Chinese cooking. I think David Chang did that too a little bit about talking about MSG and how
all for MSG.
I should find this article because it's amazing how when you go back, there's absolutely never been any link to MSG.
And they did a lot of stuff. MSG is actually naturally occurring in things too.
And in like when people talk about like Chinese food making them feel sick or hungry or anything, it's all can be traced to a fake article that a fake scientist put out because he was a racist. It was all about like holding down Chinese people. And the same amount of MSG is in like a bag of Cheetos as it is in the average dish from a Chinese restaurant, but nobody's ever like, Cheetos.
Still cooks with it. Like occasionally, like if you watch his Instagram lives, he's kind of like, there's actually a whole conversation they have about that in the second season of his show on Netflix. Yeah. I think it's one of the first or second episodes. There's a roundtable discussion with food critics and chefs and people talking about MSG and how it's got such a bad rap.
It's racism. It's all a fake racist, fake doctor did it. There's nothing about it that's true. The other part that's so interesting about it too is the cost. Like people think Chinese food needs to be cheap, but why? Like they're still, you're able to get amazing ingredients and these things are made from scratch. And I mean, think about making noodles, right? Like why does Chinese food have to be cheap? It's the same with Mexican food. Why is Mexican food supposed to be cheap or like,
you're still using, meat or seafood or.
Yeah. And like amazing techniques. I mean, look at most Mexican style sauces and the way that they build flavor and the layers and just the amount of time and work and effort that goes into it. Nothing about that says that inherently it should be cheap. It's all racism.
Agreed.
We've been talking about food forever, right? Like how many people would always be like, oh, I can't get Mexican food. I just had last week. Like, what is that? Nope.
It's crazy.
That's
okay. I'm going to put my noodles in a second. I put water in the pan when it got hot to steam the broccoli.
Okay.
which I know is nothing new to you, but I figured I should at least tell the people what I'm doing.
Tell the people.
So now I've got some good color on my tofu. I did not burn any of the garlic. And
excellent.
I'm gonna add a little bit of carrot. This had been boiling, but then I wasn't sure. Now it's not boiling.
Did you put your noodles in already?
I was gonna.
Oh.
Because I felt like the top was like, you know, like when it starts wiggling?
Yeah.
I was like, I thought it was boiling, and now it's just like,
I think it's in Berkeley here, East Bay. There's a tofu factory, and it's an amazing, awesome company that they've probably been around about 10 years now. But I actually got to tour it like a year or two ago and see how they make tofu and everything. That was awesome. If that's ever again, I highly recommend that. It was super cool. I felt like I was like on Mr. Rogers or one of those like PBS shows where you get to tour and go through and see how things are made, and it was pretty awesome.
Do you remember when we toured the chocolate factory with my mom?
Yeah, that was in Berkeley too, I think. The chocolate factory.
Yeah. I don't think it's there anymore. Is it? Is that company still there? I don't know.
I think so. Maybe they moved to a different facility. I don't know. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I love that. Anywhere there's like big machines and things getting made. And I feel like the ultimate Mr. Rogers one would be to go to like a crayon factory, which would be, I bet.
I still remember I don't know if it was from Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street, but I still remember
I think
making
the Mr. Rogers reboot and Daniel Tiger did a crayon factory one.
Did they?
I mean, that's mesmerizing stuff right there.
My water refuses to boil.
Well, you're watching it. What kind of sauce are you going to make? How are you going to do this? Do that separately?
Or? I already made it.
Oh, you already made it. You didn't even show me. Or was I talking?
You were talking, but that's okay. I added soy sauce, sesame oil, apple cider vinegar, a little bit of fish sauce, and a little bit of honey. In fact, a little bit more honey. Now, I have another question for you.
Yes.
Obviously, this sauce is going to be thin because it's that way. I know I could make a little slurry to thicken it up.
Yeah.
I don't typically do that because it doesn't bother me. I don't feel like deprived not having that silky feeling, but what are your thoughts on that?
It depends. So the dish you're making would be good hot or cold. It's almost like a kind of salady, you know what I mean? So I'm okay with the thin consistency, and especially okay with it on soba noodles.
Okay.
So let's say you were just making that stir fry right there and you were going to serve it over a bowl of rice.
Yeah.
That
then you want it more.
That vinaigrette style would just all drip to the bottom and it would be kind of weird.
Yeah.
But if you put this on the soba noodles and kind of toss it, it'll soak it up a little bit more. And then you kind of have a completely tossed salad thing. So I'm okay with it for that dish. If you were serving this, definitely like as a hot, like if you were going to add that sauce right now to those veggies, I would probably add a little cornstarch and water and thicken it up so it really coats the veggies and then sits on top of a bowl of rice. But
so I was gonna not add the sauce until I put the noodles in the pan.
Yeah.
And then put the sauce over everything. Was my plan.
Yeah. I think that's good for noodles, but I probably would do a slurry if I were just doing a sauce on the veggies.
Okay.
Serving over rice.
And serving over rice.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's just, I like when the rice kind of sits below it and then the really sticky, saucy top is separate. But with noodles, I like
what a slurry is. The cornstarch. I don't think we said what a slurry was, just in case anybody is a novice at
cornstarch and water.
Yeah.
But you have to cook it until it boils because the cornstarch doesn't activate until it's boiling. So you can't just stir it in now and then never heat it. It wouldn't do anything. You have to like cook that taste.
Right. Yeah. So this is all ready. I have to cook my noodles for 4 minutes, but I'm probably going to do 3 because I like that better.
That works. Oh, we had a question. Perfect. What's a slurry? I think that he was probably watching when we said it, cornstarch and water. But hey, let's talk more about slurries. This is a cooking show, right? So cornstarch and water is the more like Asian style slurry, but you can also do other things to thicken it. I actually, now that I say this, I don't know if you would call it a slurry, but you can always use flour and fat. So you could take white flour and olive oil or butter and mash it up together. If you do flour and butter, it's a beurre Marnier, which is like a totally different, but it has the same function. So it depends on what sauce you're going to put it in and then how you want to cook it. So like technically, I think if I'm getting this right, that slurry is like the umbrella term, right? So even if you're making a roux, that counts as a thickening agent. I don't know if you would call that a slurry though. Someone Google that and let me know. But typically cornstarch and water in this setup.
Now I didn't add, would you add salt to your noodles in this? Like you would? You would?
I think so, yeah. Maybe a little bit less. It's maybe, they have more flavor than the, but especially, so there was no salt in the ingredient, I would add it. Slurry with, wait, what, slurry with a fringe on top? Is that like bang?
Like, like a surrey with a fringe on top.
What's that?
From Oklahoma, the musical. Or from When Harry Met Sally, when they're inside, what's that electronic store that was super popular? Is that like Sharper Image maybe back in the 80s? Don't act like you don't know. You were born in the 80s, girl.
I don't know what you're talking about. Wow. I don't know.
Wow.
You're a lot older than me. It's like a significant difference.
Well, if I'm a lot older than you, then Tim's even older than me.
This is what you get, public shaming when you comment on.
That's right. When you join us, we thank you with shaming you about your age.
Exactly. We love your comments, but we're going to talk about it. What was I saying before that? There was something I really wanted to say.
I couldn't tell you.
He's saying thank you for the shaming, so. You like my manicure?
Is it a real manicure?
No, it's stickers.
I'm just giving you the opportunity to plug your business, your side business.
I can't believe you haven't used yours yet. I can't. I
know. I
gave you a present in quarantine, and it's amazing and going to change your life, and you haven't even used it. It's insane.
I have a little bit of concern about.
I also picked out the most Angela color. Like that is, I've seen you have that color and that texture on your nails.
You know, I got really excited because I thought they were sparkly and there was only like 4 sparkly ones. I was like, what am I supposed to do with these sparkly ones?
Oh, they're not all sparkly?
No. There's like a full set of like brown sparkly ones. But like there's on top like this like rainbowy cool sparkly one.
Oh, just 2. Those are to practice. Those are just like a sample of practice.
Why would they give you the coolest color to practice on?
Well, I could have bought you that color. I thought it was a little childish.
Wow. The insult.
The brown ones have that like sort of texture-y stuff.
I don't know.
I thought it was like a color.
I have to think about you for a minute. I have to just think about how I'm being treated right now.
I sent you a present. You've sent me 0 presents during quarantine. 0.
That's true.
There are no.
I also feel like your present was also a secret way to get me to start buying these nails from you. So I'm not sure. I feel like it might be self-serving.
I am not a salesperson.
It's like the drug dealer that gives you a taste.
Exactly.
Just so you keep coming back.
I was just trying to, bring some beauty into your life.
We watch a lot of wine over here. We know how this works, Allie.
Sending you a gift. That's okay. I sent it to 2 other friends, and they also have not ever used them either. So they're not.
Call them out right now.
Should we them by name? What?
Should we shame them right now? If you want to call them,
shame them by name, but they know who they are. And I'm gonna come back to your houses and collect them all because they were each like $10.
Okay, I feel like my noodles are done.
Okay,
do it.
There was something I was really gonna say, and it's bugging me now because I really wanted to share and I didn't.
Oh yeah, these are good.
All right. Are you going to drain them or are you going to just scoop them over into the pot?
No, I'm going to drain it.
Yeah.
I don't have enough. I feel like, no, it'll get all soppy.
Splashy.
Yeah, that doesn't seem safe. Why are you trying to sabotage me by suggesting?
So Monday is Memorial Day.
Yeah. Big party, big barbecue.
Doing anything? Is anyone barbecuing? At least?
Tried barbecue, actually. We have a barbecue on our patio.
I feel like, I don't know. Normally I take the day off. I'm just going to not, because what's the point?
Yeah, I mean,
It's depressing.
we'll probably do much of what we do all the time. Walk the pug. Do you want some content real quick?
Yeah, where is he?
Sleeping like an angel.
Oh, he's walking. He has his leash on and he's like walking in his dream.
He loves to go for a little walkies. He can't go for like major walkies yet, but
So cute.
yeah, so we'll probably be, doing that. Okay.
Okay.
Nudes. Got my nudes. Putting my nudes in.
Felix calls them new news.
What?
Felix calls them new news. It's really
He
cute.
does.
Yeah. It's really cute.
Okay, I'm gonna put my delicious that I say is delicious. You guys just have to take my word for it.
Awesome. So we've been talking and I've been slowing you down and stuff, but I mean, this is like a 10-minute dinner. If you had the water,
If I had my water boiled, honestly, this is 10 minutes.
that's awesome.
Yes.
That sauce is easy to put together. I mean, you could double that sauce, put it in a jar and just have it in your fridge and it wouldn't go bad. I mean, it could sit in your fridge for a month. So you could make a dish like this twice in a month and only have to make the sauce once.
My tofu got so crispy on the outside, which makes me so happy.
So good. All right, let's do it. Bring it closer. Yum. That looks really good. It looks like a nice amount of sauce, and I definitely think it's a good move with the noodles not to thicken it up.
Okay, good to know. I'm going to put some in a bowl. Now,
Are you going to have it for lunch, or are you going to save it for dinner?
I'm going to eat it for lunch. I don't have the willpower that you do to save it for later. I made it. I have to eat it.
It's really not even so much the willpower of not eating it, but it's more like the threat of having to cook something else for dinner. So
Yeah.
that's where I tap in to find strength.
You know what? I'll be honest. We have a pizza in there. That's probably.
I'm a dinner person, so I can be fine having like a smaller, snackier, like less satisfying lunch. But like I like a big, satisfying, exciting dinner. Yeah. So I know that's maybe not even the healthiest way to do it. And I know a lot of people don't necessarily feel that way, but I swear I can't like even sleep peacefully if I didn't have a satisfying dinner.
Like, that's reasonable. Some people feel that way about breakfast. You're not a breakfast person.
Mm-mm.
I think it just depends on what peeps are used to. So I wish I had green onions. I don't. I'm going to put some of my sad little cilantro on top.
Nice. I bet you could grow that where you live. Nice and warm. In the SUV.
I'm going to add one more thing.
One more thing.
One more secret thing that I didn't even think I wanted until right now. I'm going to add a few cashews.
Oh, nice.
And I should have toasted them up a little bit, but.
Yeah.
And I will show you my final product.
Awesome. I love the addition of cashews in there. That looks fantastic.
I feel like I can't get where my camera is. There we
Very
go.
good.
Yay.
No, it's reverse. It's like
I know. It's so
trailer. You have to go the other way.
Can't work like that. So yeah, this is my easy, quick.
That looks amazing.
I'll try a little bite. It's good.
I'll just have a sip of water.
I highly recommend, guys.
Hey, your chocolate chip cookies were a big hit. A lot of people were sending in pictures or telling me they made them, and yeah.
I mean, they're not mine. They're, BAs, but thank you. I really appreciate it. There's a man somewhere who spent hours getting that recipe, but I will take all the credit because I made it.
You delivered it to.
I brought it to the people. What can I say?
You're an influencer.
That's right. That's right. I actually still have some frozen dough that I know.
Those are my list. I need to make those soon. Maybe that would be a good Memorial Day.
Oh, yeah. they're so good. Really, they're like really good.
We did. So I'm putting together an ebook cookbook.
Yeah.
And so I've been working on some of the recipes, but then like taking photos for it. And so one of the dessert recipes is just vanilla ice cream with like microwave chocolate sauce. So the kids and I made the chocolate sauce last night to take a picture of it. And so easy, like seriously, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old could make it. So I filmed them making it, and Ramona like knew what we were doing, and she just like snapped on to talk show cooking host. And she like introduced herself. She's like, today, she's like, this is my baby little brother Felix, and I'm Ramona, and my mom's in charge. And she goes, today we are making fancy looking ice cream. It was really
So cute.
So I'll post that later when I have the link to the recipe too. But
Now I wish I had some fancy looking ice cream.
fancy looking ice cream. Hey, it's like a 2-minute recipe. It's like 4 ingredients, really easy. So stay tuned for when my cookbook comes out and you can have it.
Oh yeah, I will. I mean, it sounds easy. I'm just gonna make Eloise make it for me. Why should I bother?
If you can.
Great.
Perfect. That should be the challenge. You can have the cookbook for free if you get
Film her doing it?
Yeah, and put them on.
Great. She
Well,
loves
happy Friday. As always, fun
Happy
cooking with you. So much more fun when you cook.
really? I mean, it is more work, but I get to eat it. So it's like there's a,
Yeah.
totally.
It's a nice break for me to just sit and watch your
I
technique.
still want to make the cabbage thing from last week. I could not find a cabbage at the store actually when I went. Well, they had like red, but I didn't want red for it.
Could be kind of cool. I've never made it with a red cabbage. It
I
definitely
want to try it because it seemed you didn't do it with that and it
yeah.
So
Red cabbage is a little like firmer and crisper. Like the green cabbage almost like melts into it by the end, so you're not like really biting. The red cabbage might be too snappy.
Yeah, I didn't want to take chances with it. So I'm hoping this week find some cabbage.
Good.
Maybe everyone.
And I think that combining bacon and putting shrimp in the batter, but then bacon on the top, that might be like the ultimate way to go.
Well, Eloise told me
I ate them at dinner.
I won't eat it if there's shrimp. Eloise is like, I won't have shrimp. She's like, I'll eat the bacon one. And I was like, great.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can work with that.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Well,
we'll have a good weekend. Bye, Tim Fritz.
you too. Bye, everybody.